Hi Amy, welcome to my house. I want to show you a little bit of what we eat around here at the Hawk House, and today I'm going to start off with my chicken marsala. So what I'm going to start doing here is I've got a stick of butter that I'm browning in my pan. I'm just going to take, I'm not real big on measuring, I like to just kind of do things as I go, so I'm putting a little bit of garlic here. It's already pre-minced garlic, should be pretty tasty. And then I'm going to cut open my bag of pre-chopped onions here, which are super handy, especially if you're cooking a quick dinner. So I'm going to saute my onions and my garlic in the pan for a little while here. Get my spatula. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a touch of canola oil as well, because the butter starts to fry up pretty quick. All right, there we go. All right. Now, what makes this sauce so good, in my opinion, I know marsala is supposed to be made with just marsala wine, but my grandma taught me this. Love to do this. I mix marsala wine probably about, let's say, once again, I'm not a big measurer, but let's say about 3/4 cup of marsala wine, cooking wine. We're going to put that in there. If you don't have marsala wine, you can always use some other sort of a sweet white wine. Or like a dessert wine would be good as well. Then I also use sherry wine. Sherry's really sweet cooking wine. It's very tasty, good to cook your mushrooms down in as well. And I add about 3/4 cup of that also. All right. Next, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add my chicken in. So just going to put one in each, and this way, you know, they're not pre-marinated. They're just basic plain chicken breasts. And I'm going to let those kind of soak and let the flavors kind of emulsify into those when they all cook down together to make the sauce. All right, and then I'm going to throw my mushrooms in as well. So this is just kind of like a one-pot deal. You're just throwing everything in, making sure that it's all going to cook down in the sauce so it all absorbs the flavor. All right, there we go. So this is, while this is cooking here, it's going to take a little bit to reduce the sauce. What I've done here is I've boiled my red skin potatoes. And what I like to do with these, it's super easy, super quick. I just boil them until they're pretty soft. I cut them up into quarters, and then I'm going to put all these into my bowl here, which I'm going to just make my own kind of little marinade. I'm going to put a little bit more of the garlic, just a big scoop of that. I'm also going to put a little bit of this canola oil on them, just kind of drizzle it over top of them. It's easy to do this all in the bowl instead of in your baking sheet, I find. And then I'm going to salt them and add some, since we're doing chicken marsala, I'm going to add Italian seasoning today to them, and a little bit of parsley as well. And you could pretty much change this up. If you were going to do, like, cook this with some sort of a Mexican dish, you could add cilantro. Or if you're doing like a Chinese dish and you want to add some sort of potato, you can also cook this, instead of this kind of oil, you can use sesame oil or wok oil. Tastes really good. So these are pretty versatile potatoes, but like I said, we're going to do Italian version. So parsley, Italian seasoning, we're going to toss them in the garlic and just make sure they're coated with all the oil. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take out my baking sheet and just put them on the baking sheet and kind of toss them into the oven here. And they'll cook probably for about a half an hour. I'll let them cook for a half an hour and just kind of brown the top of them at between 350 and 400. All right. So now I'm just going to stir up the chicken a bit more. Make sure this is looking good, and make sure to flip them continuously because we want to make sure one side doesn't get overcooked. And these are looking good already. Smells great. So it looks like our chicken's finished now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plate up the meal so you can see how the final product should look. All right, so here's our potatoes. They turned out great. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a breast of the chicken, put it on here, and then I'm going to take a separate spoon and get some of these yummy mushrooms and onions and more of this sauce, because this is what really makes the dish. You want to make sure you get lots of that good sauce. And you can even put a little bit of it over the top of the potatoes if you want. It's really yummy. All right. That's what the final product looks like. And I can promise your guests will love it.